Clinical trials are an essential mechanism we use to determine whether new medicines or medical devices are effective and safe. They allow us to assess treatments in a controlled manner. For example, by comparing a new medicine to a placebo, we can learn whether the difference in outcomes are due to the medicine itself. For a new medicine to be approved, it must go through multiple clinical trials, making clinical trials fundamental to modern healthcare. Clinical trials have four main phases. Phase 1 is the earliest phase, where we test a new medicine for the first time in healthy volunteers with very low doses. This helps us understand how the drug is absorbed and processed by the body and gives us a first look at its effects. As we gather more data, we move to Phase 2 and Phase 3 trials, which involve people with the condition the drug's intended to treat, such as high blood pressure or arthritis. These phases help us evaluate how well that drug works to treat the intended condition, as well as whether the drug has any side effects. If the trials are successful, a treatment may then be licensed for use. However, the trials don't stop there. Phase 4 studies continue after the drug is approved for prescription, giving us long-term information on how the drug works in a real-world setting. This is particularly important for studying longer-term safety aspects. Recruitment depends on the stage of the trial and the disease being studied. For early phase studies, we often advertise for healthy volunteers through registries or social media or the press. For trials involving patients, we usually approach individuals in clinical settings. Offering patients access to clinical trials is a crucial part of the NHS, but participation is always voluntary and requires explicit informed consent. Phase 1 studies are often quite short, running over just a few months. Phase 2 and Phase 3 studies are longer, typically looking at outcomes over 6 to 12 months. But the entire journey from a new medicine starting in Phase 1 to getting a license at the end of Phase 3 can take 5 to 10 years. It's quite a journey. There are quite a few. Running trials can be enormously stressful due to the extensive oversight involved. And this oversight is crucial as it ensures the results are robust and transparent. However, it requires significant human resources. A large Phase 3 trial can cost many millions of pounds to run, and balancing the need for thoroughness with practical constraints is one of the biggest challenges in the field. Almost every decision we make in healthcare about patients we treat is underpinned by clinical trials. Without trials, we are sort of reduced to an evidence base that relies on anecdote. Trials are what give us the confidence to make the right decision, the best decision for each patient.